Welcome, Cancer. This is Regina for Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your new moon in Aries reading. The Spring Equinox is today, so we're welcoming spring. Hello. Daylight saving time has occurred in the Northern Hemisphere for those of us in the continental U.S. We are also experiencing a new moon in Aries tomorrow, and this will be at about 10:30-ish, a little before that on the West Coast. So let's get started, Cancer, with your overall energy for this new moon. The Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is your ability to detach yourself from your powerful feelings and emotions, your intimate and visceral experience of your emotions, of your experiences, so that you can actually be curious, be informed, gather data, talk to people, be in negotiation around your experience of truth. And because this truth is powerful, it helps you to find out the experiences of others, be curious about your experience so that you can learn about the powerful emotions and feelings that you have been experiencing recently. This is a way where you can be recording your dreams, you can be journaling a lot, you may have the good fortune to be able to teach something to others, or explore, discover some new information, seek new information, even seeking new contacts, those you may not ordinarily talk with, be in conversation or dialogue with, to find out how ultimately how relevant your experience is to theirs, and vice versa, so that you can elevate your understanding of your truth, with what is underlying the experiences, what you've been learning from your experiences, which is often quite hard to objectify and easier to see in the reflection of others' experiences. I hope that's helpful. That makes sense to you. In your 10th house, there is the Six of Pentacles, and this is the area of your life, your social identity, the way others see you, that is being highlighted by the new moon. And it is particular for those of you with Cancer rising, but it doesn't matter what your placement is. As long as you're drawn to this reading, this is true for you. You are looking at your relationships and what you've learned in terms of how to balance and harmonize your experience in relationships, so that the energies, the flow of giving and receiving is equitable. Not equal, but equitable. You have skills in terms of the ability to nurture, give love, give support, distribute resources as needed, according to need, in a way that may not always be matched by others, but there are other gifts that your relationships have that can support and feed you in ways where you may not be as strong. So the balancing relationships is an art, it's not a science. And you are very in tune with the science of this balance, the art of this balance, because you are sensitive to the flow of relationships. This is natural to you, it's critical to you. And equity in a relationship is important for you to feel safe in relationships and for you to give your best. There's also a sense that you are being recognized by your peers or in your place of employment, of education, wherever your social experience is most present. You are in a position of assuming responsibility for the care and the identification of support to others. In the first house, we have the Hierophant. And it's interesting because I'm thinking still about this balance of relationship and what this tells me about the role you customarily play in relationships. As a natural caregiver, it is automatic for you to be giving, to feel comfort in giving. It is also equally as comfortable for you to receive, but that is precisely where your focus may be at this time, in receiving. And so as you are caring, teaching, sharing what you know at this time, you're also receiving. You're very aware that even as a teacher, you are learning not only from your students, but from your teachers. And it is that quest for learning, that understanding that the learning process is a lifelong one, that you are feeling very adept and flexible in, very malleable in that experience, so that you are all heart as a teacher, as a giver of information, as a sharer with whomever. Also, quite possibly as a gatekeeper, someone who is showing others how to learn, how to progress on their own learning journey. It's a beautiful card of you learning your lessons so that you can share them with others. In the fourth house, your unconscious, your family, your roots. The Ace of Pentacles shows a really new beginning, a new opportunity that really helps you to solidify your desire for security, for safety, for stability. This is an opportunity to build wealth, to be abundant, to really value and understand wealth in terms of abundance, so that it is not merely economic stability, but it is material security and stability as well, but it is not that solely, so that you are really understanding where your wealth, where your abundance lies, and where you want to maximize this. For me, this card for you right now is really about recognizing the abundance of resources in your life, the opportunities that exist all around you in your most intimate, safest spaces. You now see opportunities to move in a new direction, no matter what your experience, your age is, that there are new opportunities. You're seeing your condition in a new way. In the seventh house, we have the Hanged Man. This is about you switching your perspective, so that things that I'm thinking, the yearning for stability, the yearning for safety, something that may have caused you in the past to fortify yourself, to using comfort as a way to shield out stress or conflict, is actually a way in which you are rethinking your perspective and noticing that your perspective must shift in order for you to take advantage of the opportunities that you have before you. This shift in perspective is flipping your understanding in such a way, or opening out your understanding, so that you can indeed maximize the myriad of opportunities that are all around you. You're able to see that wealth that already exists in your life, and that wealth becomes the wealth of opportunities. I'm going to clarify the Hierophant in the first house with the Ten of Wands in the second house, and the Empress in the third house. Oh, we love the Empress. This card just resonates for you so much right now, regardless of your gender. Empress is this beautiful empowerment that really revolves around the ability to love, to give, and to receive that same energy back. This is about the constant generation of new ideas. And why this is so important right now is that you are releasing a whole set of expectations that you have carried with you for a long time. These may be, and quite possibly are, the expectations of others, the role, the responsibilities that you have assumed, the obligations that you have assumed because others assign them to you. You are releasing those. You are understanding that your real wealth resides within your own being, within your own space, so that you are now evolving your own expectations of your own power, of your own ability, and your own way of maximizing the resources that are authentic to you. So this is a big change, a big shift, and this may reflect a phenomenal shift in your material comfort, your stability, so that you're looking at your security in a way that you may not have truly appreciated it in the past. And that, again, is about recognizing the abundance and the opportunities around you and within you. The Ace of Pentacles in the 4th house is clarified by the Temperance card in the 5th house, and the 6 of Cups in the 6th house. Another 6 and the Temperance card. A lot of healing is going on here. There's a lot of opportunity for you to balance out these resources that exist externally and internally in your world. This has been a long process, and I'm feeling very much that this is involved in siblings, perhaps. It can be very close friends. It is people with whom you have created the sense of place, healing, and potential in your life. So that as you have healed, as you have shifted your expectation, your desires and needs, your acknowledgement of your own authentic needs, you have impacted on others around you. You have impacted on the way perhaps siblings or friends have understood their opportunities. This can also be team members, those that you potentially are creating with, working with in a more and more creative way, in a way that frees you up from the expectations of others and shifts that to integrate in your own expectations of your own performance, so that you are meeting your needs and you are being impacted by a memory, a skill set that you were born with. You have natural talents and skills that you are returning to. Perhaps things that you started, you exhibited a path of development that you began as a child, where there was no expectation, where you could give and receive, where you could play freely without any expectation. And this healing experience is returning you to that capacity of really releasing expectations of others, judgments of others, including yourself, so that you can actually revel in this power that is authentic to you. The Hanged Man in the 7th house is clarified by the 5 of Swords in the 8th house and the 9 of Swords in the 9th house. There's so much that you have been wounded by in your relationships. There's so much that you have processed and have healed in your own experience, particularly of your conditioning, of your family, your family patterns, your patterns of behavior that were shaped by your formative years. the ability to really process, to own, take responsibility for those challenges, those areas where you have strove for a long time to change. You are actually now able to recognize similar kinds of behavior towards you, similar forms of sabotage that you may now experience, but recognize what that sabotage truly is, where that sabotage has taken hold of in your own experience because of insecurities or a sense of inadequacy. Now that you understand better that that kind of sabotage in the form of unkind words, criticism, for those of you like myself from a critical family structure, that you are able to see that as a reflection of those that deliver that, that they are not really about you or your capacity, and you no longer internalize those unkind words, that dismissal, that not being taken seriously. You recognize that as, in many ways, it can be a lot of things, but one thing it also can be is a fear of losing you, often by those we expect a more of a celebration, more cheering, more encouragement from. Because you have understood that pattern so well, you now understand how you have participated in that by buying into those stories, by buying into the criticism and sense of less than that you once experienced. And you now are releasing that, not by dismissing it, not by detaching yourself from it. On the contrary, by really experiencing the grief, the loss, the hurt, the suffering that you've experienced, so that you can release it and actually be grateful at some level for the lessons that these experiences have taught you. Now, understanding that is what is in part allowing your new understandings, your own healing, to in effect ripple out to others through your relationships, so that others who may have impacted you, felt as though they blocked, minimized, hurt you, are now impacted by your ability to be curious about that, and then to release that, to no longer allow that to stop you from where you have decided you are going. The Six of Pentacles in the 10th house is clarified by the Chariot in the 11th house, and the Seven of Swords in the 12th house. You are moving so rapidly through this new sense of balance and harmony in your life that is allowing you to identify goals and move towards them in a way that is authentic to your fulfillment, that identifies the opportunities for you and allows you not to clean up your life, but instead to balance the conflicts that exist, that always exist in our world. The energies that recognize and celebrate and see the opportunities you create that you can embrace and move through, and those resistant forces within and without you. You're able to synthesize them at this time. You're able to really synthesize the hurt that you've experienced from the kinds of sabotage that most of us experience in some time and at some time in our lives. And instead of simply dismissing that and moving on, you're actually able to address that. Recognize that you're not doing what you need to do if you're not encountering any resistance. You're not stepping into your purpose, your power, if no one's noticing. And you are being noticed. You may be receiving blow back, because you are moving in a direction that for many of our loved ones is incredibly threatening and challenging. Again, you are able to use that energy to move yourself forward in a way that the Chariot recognizes. And this is in towards your larger humanitarian goals. This is where you stretch out into the world and identify with all of the tribes, all of the associations that reflect some part or some totality of your identity. I'm hoping that this reading is helpful to you, and if it is, please like and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I deeply appreciate all the love that I receive from you, and I thank you for that. I have pulled Pride. I love myself, and I see myself in everyone. I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, Namaste.